Hi, welcome to the TFcon DC Reviewer Roundtable. I'm Chris from Vangelist Central, and this is...
Henry Pig from Pig for Life Reviews.
Spence from MAAS Toys.
Jay for MMC and Corbot.
Boris from A3U Review.
Ian Reed from HardReturn.net.
And we're going to talk some toys, so let's swoosh on over to our very first of many segments. Pike for Life's Henry Pike, what's up with these drills and cannon right in front of you?
I don't know. What could it possibly be?
Do you think it could be the characters in that box that say Kotetsu Jeeg? Because it is.
I don't know anything about this character other than it's like one of those cool super robot things.
He's from the 70s, I believe. He was a character meant to sell magnet-jointed toys. That's why he has like magnet-looking ball things on all his joints. Except this one, it has some magnets. It's not full of magnets. It's also a big, stonking, awesome, posable friggin' Kotetsu Jeeg. And Boris, you were explaining to me that like you had a moment when you handled this thing of excitement, and then you said, "Hey, you should look at this," and I started yelling a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, for me, I know nothing about this property, and I started playing with the robots. There's others in the series. The actual company is called World Scope. They do the super robots very, very well. So I had many moments with this franchise where I knew nothing about it, but it's just such a great toy, and it's the make, everything about it, the posability, just amazing. From what I understand, you were saying the old toys, they tried to make everything on magnets. So.
Yeah, the original toy, and thus it's a gimmick in the show, is he breaks apart at all his magnet joints, and then some newer toys have tried to do it. There was CM's Corp, Bandai sold Jigoken, one other company, I can't remember, Dynamite, I believe, Dynamite Action. And they all suffered by trying to have magnets throughout the toy and not figuring out a way to compensate for all the magnets. So often you'd load him up with things like this, and then he would implode, according to video reviews I've seen.
Yeah,
so this one cheats
imagine.
the magnets a little bit, but and also you can give him a friggin' cannon arm.
Every child's dream.
It does compromise the magnet gimmick a little bit on this one, for sure, but I think comes up with some really good compromises that give it that posability and actually allow you to really play with it.
And he still has magnets where it counts. Like the forearms come off magnetizably. The hands magnetize on and off. You know, if you want to pull off both his forearms, connect them to these fists so he can rocket punch. If you want to stick a drill or a cannon on his arms, those all magnet on still with friction.
And of course the head.
Yeah, the head magnets on and off.
And these drills are apparently mechanized,
yes.
So that they spin.
When they're loaded with batteries, they'll start spinning like a drill does do spin.
That's correct. Oh, they're very sharp.
They're very sharp.
Yes.
Don't do that.
Definitely not approved for North America.
Oh, so this could also attach to the arm.
Yeah,
as well.
you can.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
awesome.
that's where he can. That's when he rears back a punch with that drill, where it's just he's screaming, "I'm gonna actually kill you."
That's what he says. That's his
Yeah.
finishing. I'm
No,
gonna
I
actually kill you.
made that part up. But
Oh.
like, it's what I said.
I was going to say, because these things can actually kill you.
He looks so angry when he's got that drill for an arm, and he's hunched over, and he's just like, "I'm gonna punch you in the face with this drill, and you're gonna die."
Looks pretty awesome from
Does
the
he
back.
look,
So.
does he look kind of awkward?
Well, it looks like you should have a horse under him, and he's like riding in to like go jousting now.
Oddly enough,
Oddly enough.
an accessory of the original was a horse partner he could fuse with to turn into a centaur.
That's awesome.
It's not ride. He actually fused and
he
turned into
becomes
something.
part horse.
Baron Karza style.
Oh, awesome.
But it's really important to check out the legs too here, because it's got the slide as on the thigh there, gives it a little bit more room to do articulation, and then the triple joint
Wow.
to allow it to really give it some really great posability while not sacrificing the look.
He's got the butterfly joints.
That was a very important thing to the designers of this toy, was that it could do that. It could properly actually move its shoulders outwards without looking awkward, and that's why they put that kind of work into the joints there.
And there's one finishing touch on this thing.
The metal box.
The metal box. Let's put this backpack on him. This illustrates something.
Oh, okay.
This backpack, right? This thing can clip onto him, so you can make him really just gigantic and heavy, right? And if you put him down on the table, you're gonna see he's starting to wobble a bit under all this back weight. The thing I found, is this box is metal, he's got magnets on the bottom of his feet, is that this gives you an extra bit of grip down here, so it like holds him steady just a little bit more. And it's like off camera, we were talking a little bit about display stands, and I'm like, this is almost a functioning display stand in that it can keep him grounded. I'm really fresh with this toy. I met it about 15 minutes ago, so pardon my enthusiasm.
Well, I love that they did that. Just so you know, the first couple products weren't magnetic. They were really nice boxes as well, and very much the same style. But they were just a slip cover over foam, which was really cool. It looked great. It worked for that robot. But I love that they switched over to a tin because this is all.
This is like a cherry on top, coup de grace, a bunch of other words that all mean the thing that makes it really cool at the end.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what do we have up next?
I don't know, but I heard it's up there. Hey, it's Howling Meteor. He's a jet who He turns into a robot, and he's coming out soon. Take it away.
Okay.
I will take this figure away.
Yeah.
It's awesome, so I gladly take this away. I think we've sadly been in need of an update to the Seekers, and I think this is a good one.
Well, you'll find that this one doesn't follow MP11, MP3 at all.
Well, where are the hip skirts? What's going on here? What?
Hip skirts, meaning...
The MPO3 hip skirts.
Yeah,
Where's
the
all the-
scabbards.
Oh,
Where's
well,
all the Power Wars
they
stuff?
split the lower leg and
You see it kinda
they
hidden,
split the
tucked
lower
in there.
leg the back of the jet and the front of the jet. They split so you didn't get a ton of kibble,
Yeah.
and then kind of folded everything in on itself, so it
Yeah, you can see
it
on the back
hides
here.
nicely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's nice. You can't immediately, obviously, tell that it's like just getting tucked in, like whatever, willy nilly. I mean, you examine a little bit further, you do know that it is there to split the leg, but it's not bad. They've done a great job of
Yeah,
hiding
he
it.
has a
Actually.
double jointed ab crunch, I believe.
He definitely has dedicated ab crunch. He's got the twist, which is really unique on this one because the cockpit is cut,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
yet it still has the waist swivel, which is really great. There was a lot of thought and a lot of dedication put into this right from the very beginning, definitely.
Kind of needs that if you're gonna kind of go new on a Seeker, I think.
Yeah, not to even take away from the fact this is also, occupying a masterpiece scale and kind of approach, but a new Starscream Seeker type with a waist swivel is also something that just isn't very common and gets my attention kind of quickly.
The thing I appreciated most, at least messing around with it briefly right now, was the fact that you can do stuff with the feet and the ankle tilt, because the weakness for me on the MP3/MP11 mold has always been, as soon as you get him standing, it's just basically a stance and then nothing
And kinda
happens
nothing
down
else.
there. And it's like you can fudge it with little swivels and everything. This one,
Yeah.
if you take a look at the way the ankles kind of move, it moves the entire bottom, plus you can kick the foot out on a double joint. So it's nice to actually have some ability to pose the legs and the ankles, which is, as far as I'm concerned, one of the biggest upgrades on it, at least for me, because I hate the Seeker feet. Like it's always been something that
They've always been pretty bad.
yeah, like I still like the MP3 mold, but like this is the biggest upgrade for me.
Actually, the biggest upgrade for me, I think, is just the overall quality. Like, just looking at the plastic, it's gray, light gray, no swirls. The red is painted here, red is molded. It's really nice, glossy all over, and it's hefty, has die cast. It just feels exceptionally high quality for any third-party Transformer in terms of just build quality. When I first looked at it, I thought it might be kind of flimsy. This guy
No,
definitely is not.
Super solid.
Feel him.
No intakes on the chest though.
Oh yeah, it's just gray in there. So they're going for definitely
It's
more
very-
of an
very
animation.
anime
Which
accurate.
which I like,
Yeah.
and it'll actually
A lack of nipples.
it'll blend in more with the kind of current trend with
The
mass
trend
market.
on the Takara.
Yes,
I may be
exactly.
the only one, but I actually really liked the new wing design because I've never really liked how the wings were done on the MP series, but this it just seems more like organic. It feels more natural for the character.
Well, it definitely intended, it feels like, to be like another articulatable
Yeah.
point. Kind of thinking of the Iron Factory ones, how they have the ball socket thing where you can emote with the wings. Which again, just these kind of concepts, anything that's not MP11 is still so fresh to me. Like, I'm a little astounded how much the Seekers seem to be hands off in the current road we're going on with third party stuff.
And remind me, the MP11, the wings do flay out, but they don't go back. Right?
They do, but very weakly, and they always disengage
Yes.
from the
Yeah.
backpack.
Yes.
because of the way
ni-
it connect to the
Yeah.
backpack. Yeah.
The nice thing is that we've all found something new to enjoy on this.
Yeah. So really quickly before we sign off, I think we should talk about the accessories. This being the best thing ever. If you can tell, it's a fist choking the living crap out of Howling Meteor, and this is for Despotron.
Yeah, it's a new hand for Despotron, choking a head, and then the head has a mounting point, I guess, to replace the head on here. So you can have you don't have to pose the two figures and mush them together. It's a straight up connect. It's like a really rude version of the handshake accessory.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. And then they also have, what is this now?
Cluster bombs.
Cluster
True
bomb.
fan would say those were cluster bombs.
Oh, so for the null rays, the replacement for when they go into alt mode.
That's
Yeah.
right, to
So
make
if
it
you don't
look
want to
a
have
lot
null
more
rays
like
like
a plane.
sticking out on the bottom.
No, makes sense. And then 2 extra faces.
That's right.
All right, awesome.
Okay, moving on.
Accelerators are on our minds, and hey, maybe there's one on the table. This is from the Speed team. This is a great prototype, and it's a recently revealed piece at the third-party product review panel, which has already happened.
This project was originally announced by Fans Project and was was kind of shelved for reasons or others. And MAAS Toys bought pretty much everything from Fans Project to continue with the project. And so it is part of their ongoing new line that they're calling G2, and it's Geetoo. So
okay.
focusing on a different era of transforming type toys.
And I think that's one thing I've liked about that company, that they're giving us some new versions of characters that we don't really see. We've seen a lot of G1, we've seen even a lot of movie, but we haven't seen like their line from the Cybertronian forms, and now this that honestly I've never even heard of, but looks very cool. So
you'll see you'll see on this guy. Definitely the original artist and the designer took a very different approach in doing robots with a very thin look. The articulation is unbelievable, but you'll see, like, you can't really see, but the foot articulation actually happens up here. There's a ball joint in the side of the leg, which contributes all the articulation in the side leg, and then the spoiler of the car sort of shifts for the foot. It's really impressive. It's hard to see it in an actual sample like this that you can't do too much with, just due to the fact that it's so loose. But
and there were 3 of them, I believe, originally in the series, wasn't there?
Four. Yeah.
And their gimmicks were that the engines came out and became the weapons?
The engine was part of the vehicle mode, and then you would take the engine off and it was there.
Does the new newlywed ones continue the engine gimmick? Like,
yes, actually, you can see this is the gun, and it is the engine. Only,
Engine block.
unfortunately, this time, on the original character, the engine was on the top. This one, the engine fits underneath, but the gun parts end up being the exhaust. And
which makes a lot more sense.
it does make a little more sense.
In a more updated look, it looks great.
Each figure in the series will maintain that.
Cool.
Yeah, maintain that gimmick.
All right, so what do we have next?
Well, whatever we have, I think it's under the table. Down there! We've got some Iron Factory brutal combat robots here. This is Armor Boar and Bazooka Hound, or as I like to call him, Handgun Hound. They are the first 2-pack from Iron Factory's combining set. I think their first set of combining toys. And they're going to form into a Bruticus type. Who's going to look very Iron Factory-ish. War Giant. He's got lots of puff, lots of hard edges. He's going to be, I heard on the grapevine, about 24 centimeters tall. And the legs are coming out first. And the big thing that Iron Factory made lots of noise about with these guys is that despite both turning into legs that are the same size, one's a tank, one's a Jeep. They have very different robot mode sizes. And, the tank mode's going to be thicker than the Jeep mode. So it's some transforming tricks, to get the mass to go in the right places. But it's a cool touch. It's neat to not fall into the thing of these guys are Scramble City limbs, so let's make them the same size. It's an interesting approach to say let's make one much taller.
It's actually accurate to the cartoon as well, is what Ian was saying, which is also a little nod to that. And then in the actual vehicle modes, they actually scale really nicely towards each other.
Yeah, one of the things that I thought was cool that wasn't really shown and is still kind of unknown is that It seems like a lot of the extra accessories, like these, the feet, actually have wheels that flip down, and it looks like the crotch plate and maybe the chest plate and some other parts for War Giant, the combined mode, will actually form some kind of additional vehicle or trailer. It's really not known at this point, but I thought that was a cool bonus feature that I'm looking forward to actually seeing. Like, I know the 2 feet.
Very Iron Factory of them to do.
Yeah, like these 2 feet form together, and then it looks like these are like ramps that come up, and again the wheels fold out to the side. So I'm really looking forward to that. That's kind of like a secret hidden thing that they haven't revealed yet. So.
Original 6th member.
Yeah.
Swindle is absolutely one of the most popular of the Combaticons.
Oh yeah.
And I think he looks like a really fun character. Having seen the one that was on display at the last TFcon at Toronto, yeah, where I live, it looked really good there. These look great, and just playing with them, it has a standard Iron Factory like tightness. Like, it feels really good when you're moving around and everything like that. So,
yep.
I mean, I'm pretty positive that this is going to turn out really good.
It's going to be really interesting to see what they look like when they're all combined, considering the level of detail like each figure Iron Factory does now just seems to be getting better and better, and I'm loving them. Like, I really like how they retooled the tank cannon to fold up from behind. Like, it's all these little things that they do that I think is starting to set this brand apart from everyone who's doing everything MP scale.
Well, I think the Legend scale is growing immensely popular, and there's a lot of different companies doing it. I think Iron Factory is the one that's actually probably doing the best in terms of overall quality, but also engineering, right? A lot of people think Legend scale, it's going to be super simple, but there are certain things that are an attention to detail that I wouldn't have expected, or I would have, okay, it's Legend scale, I'm going to let that go, but they really do cover all the bases, even at this small scale. So I'm really happy with them.
Yeah, these guys seem very close to done.
Yeah, I think they're shipping very soon.
Yep.
Okay. Then, well, now I just got to sit here waiting to see what happens with the arms, who I think are coming next. There's arms as a 2-pack, and then there's the torso as a solo dude.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
So we'll see what order those come out. We'll see when those come out. Sounds like it's all 3rd quarter-ish, but fingers crossed.
It's all
3rd quarter-ish.
I think we're at the
doesn't
end of
that
3rd
end
quarter.
today?
Does it?
Maybe
Yes.
4th quarter-ish.
Oh no, where did the time go? I'm aging. We got to get to the next segment before I grow old and die.
They are coming out quick though. So now that the first ones are going to be shipping, it's you're going to see a fully formed, brutal. What is it?
Brutal
giant.
combatant.
Combatant.
Made out of handgun hound and tank boar. Let's go to the next segment.
Yes,
I think
let's
it's right
do
over
that.
there.
Let's do that.
Just past Ian, right over there.